Hello and welcome to the MMA Elevator with me, Dariush, aka the Rat Killer, the Rat Catcher. Day 36 in the elevator. Not many supplies left anymore. This is the sort of water I'm drinking. Quite tart and very cloudy now. Topuria versus Oliveira this weekend, though. Alright, let's get into it. So, before everything, if this is your first time, please like, subscribe, all that stuff. Really helps us out. The more traction we get, the more people will reach. Blah, 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 blah. First fight in the card, we've got La Leyenda Topuria versus Charles Do Bronxs Oliveira. What can I say about this fight? It's going to be wild. It's going to be fucked up. And it's probably one of the best fights of the whole year. Ilya coming off crazy KO against Max. Smashing up Volk as well. A couple of boys that we love. Very sad to see them die. But fair fucking play. He did it easily, to be honest with you. Do Bronxs coming off a great win off Michael Chandler. Interesting to see how he plays out because he's changed his game slightly. If you notice, Do Bronxs, we know he's got a great ability on the stand-up, primarily offensively. He's more offensive fighter. His defense is primarily offense. He's got great subs, but again, primarily an offensive fighter. We saw in his last fight with Michael Chandler that he's now deciding to be a little bit safer with his game rather than being more of a 50-50 chance on the feet, because realistically he's all of his fights on the feet have been 50-50. He's fucked them up, he's been fucked up, but I like to see him play a little bit safer in this fight. I think he's shown that his striking has become a little bit safer. The Tarukian, showed that a little bit. He showed that he wasn't willing to create that chaos quite as much, and that may have actually hampered his ability to win that fight, but I think it's going to be better for him in this one, because if he gives Topuria an opportunity, he's going to get fucked up. Crazy fucking fight, this one. What I think is going to be the main factors in this one, we've got Oliveira with the massive height advantage, big reach advantage. It's going to be interesting to see if he manages to land the leg kicks, the head kicks, and keep that distance away from Topuria, because if he can do that, he can win this fight. Do I think he can? No. I think he has to mix in the wrestling here. He did it against Michael Chandler. He did it very successfully. Can he do it against Topuria? Probably not. Topuria's got a 92% takedown defense stat, which is fucked up, to be honest with you, especially the legends he's fought. The best wrestler he has had to deal with was Volkanovski, probably. But Volk didn't really have a chance to put any of that to play. Do Bronxs is going to have a chance. He's here. And if he gets into the mat, is he going to be able to hold down Topuria? He's a longer guy there. He should be able to. However, that doesn't always mean you can. Topuria, he's going to have good ups. He's got he's got some great submission ability, great ground game in general. And for Do Bronxs to get close to him, he's going to have to deal with some very dangerous striking. What I like about Topuria in this matchup is that he keeps the distance really well. He even keeps the distance almost further than his own striking ability. What he waits for is to pressure them slowly, very, very slowly up against the cage, and chooses moments really well. Do Bronxs, however, is good at pushing people back himself. What I think is really interesting about this matchup is that we're going to see who the fuck is going to push who back. Because we've very rarely seen Topuria get pushed back. And Charles on the feet is primarily the guy going forward. With his recent style, he's done really well taking people down, moving forward, as he did against Chandler, who likes to back up. We've not seen him do reactive doubles underneath. And is he going to be able to push him back with the jumping teeps, with the switch kicks, with the fucking jumping switch kicks, with the head kicks, with the leg kicks? I think for him, he's got to be a bit quicker than he usually is, because often he throws strikes, but they are not slow, but they have a big setup, which often leaves opportunities for counterpunching. For me, this fight, I do pick Topuria. 1,000,000%. He's the better boxer in there. But what I think is an interesting spot in this one is for this fight to go past the first or second round. Topuria is quite a patient guy, and Charles himself has shown a more patient attitude towards the fights he's had recently. Alexandre, the Cannibal, Pantoja versus Don't Blink, Kai Kara-France. Going to be a fucked up fight, this one. Pantoja, he's got great takedowns, great submission ability. His submission ability is probably one of the best in the UFC. He's got great strength, physical strength, and he's got great strength on the feet. He's got good power. He often breaks people down and takes the first round off. So it's going to be interesting to see whether or not Kai Kara-France can take advantage of that. If Pantoja does his usual thing of high guard, slightly out of distance, but being guy in the center, pushing you back, making you move, tiring you out a little bit. Kai Kara-France has opportunities with that. He's very explosive, darts in real quick, good hands, good power. He can take advantage of that. Pantoja is the older guy in there. There's not much difference in the tailor tape here with the size and the reach and all that sort of stuff. The age-wise, he's not that much different either, but he's definitely taking a lot more damage. He takes damage in every one of his fights. They are wars. Kai Kara-France, he's been fucked up primarily by grapplers. But, yeah, the things he's had issues with, as you saw in the Albazi fight, was that he's been taken down, he's been controlled, and that is something that Pantoja can definitely do. He could definitely get submission off of him. The worrying thing is that was 2 fights ago for Kai Kara-France, and can he make that adjustment in this sort of time frame? I don't know. It's only been about a year probably since that fight. The Cannibal's a dangerous guy. He's an older guy, but he's very dangerous. He knows how to fight. He knows his game plan, and he knows how to execute it very well. For me, it goes 2 ways. Either Pantoja gets a submission or Kai Kara-France gets a KO first round. He's got an 88% takedown defense stat. However, that is a little bit sus because it's one of those things that, yeah, he has stuffed a lot of takedowns. He's stuffed most takedowns. But when he has been taken down at the high level, he has been controlled easily. So, for me, Pantoja wins this fight. I think he gets it done by submission. I think Kai Kara-France, if you're going to bet him, go first round KO. That is his best spot. If it becomes a war, I would be surprised if it became a war. I wouldn't be surprised if Kai Kara-France is able to survive the first. But I don't think he's going to survive multiple rounds on the mat with Pantoja. Yeah. Give me the old dog, Pantoja, all day. The less hair he gets, the better he gets. I don't know. Some people, big fan of the Boldman. You know, you got to respect them. And Pantoja's getting there. Brandon, Roll Dog, Royval versus Joshua, the Fearless Van. Interesting fight here. This whole card has been a fucking bit of nonsense. They had about 6 fights up until last week, and then they've just chucked all this shit together. This isn't one of those. Royval originally had Cap as his opponent, and Van has stepped in, I think with maybe 1 or 2 or a little bit more notice than most guys on this card, but he hasn't had a full camp for this for sure. And he fought not too long ago against Bruno Silva, and that was an easier fight for him. Still took some damage. I have no doubt Joshua Van doesn't struggle with the weight cut. He's 5'5", he's a small guy for that weight class. Doesn't look exceptionally built or anything like that. Just a very well-skilled guy who I'm sure is in camp all the time. I'm sure he's fucking hungry as fuck. He's 23. This is a great matchup for him as well, to be honest with you. Brandon Royval, it's a great match for both of them because Brandon Royval was originally fighting Emmanuel Cap, who I think fucks him up. But Joshua Van, shorter than Cap, slightly less speed, more of a counter-puncher, whereas Cap's a counter-puncher as well, but is very good when he gets his rhythm and goes forward. Both rhythm fighters. For me, it's one of the ones where is Royval able to get his ground game off in this fight? Difficult to know. Joshua Van has been taken down and controlled in a few fights, but is Brandon Royval that guy to get him down? The 75% takedown accuracy stat would suggest that, but he's not really doing that in his fights. He's not really that guy. He reminds me a bit more of a Nate Diaz sort of character with the fact that he relies on his volume on the feet to get guys to grapple with him, and then he can impose a bit of scrambles and all that sort of stuff. Great grappler. If it goes to the ground, interesting. I think what's good about Van is that he doesn't play jiu-jitsu at all. He just aims to get up, gets to the cage, get up, aims, gets to the cage, get up. That's all he does, and he keeps himself very safe while doing it. On the feet, Royval's a good boxer, an okay kicker, not a great kicker, but an okay kicker. has had noodly arms in the past where he just is flopping about, throwing these things and throws like a lot of volume, which for me presents a lot of opportunities for Van, who's fucking hungry as fuck and a great counterpuncher. Interestingly, I back Joshua Van. I think he's going to be that guy. I think he's going to be the guy to be able to make Royval pay for the shit he throws. Royval's going to be throwing, and I think Van's going to be fucking countering that shit, pulling, slipping, ripping. And Royval's got a fucking chin, so I wouldn't be surprised as a 3-rounder if this went Joshua Van decision. He's been KOing a lot of boys, and he might get decent odds at that. That's the way I see this. I do think Raw Dog is a good guy, but maybe not that highest level. Van, I think, is probably hungry enough and decent enough striker to deal with all that shit. Beneil Dariush versus Renato Moicano. Beneil, he's my namesake, he's my boy, you know. Difficult to back a guy against a guy called Dariush, you know, Dariush. He's Iranian, trains out in Norway, Netherlands, something like that. And yeah, as we know, Dariush has got great good power, great overhand, kind of slow with the feet. He doesn't really close distance very well with his feet, which means that he's able to be pointed, and that's often where he's lost. Good strikers will keep him at distance and tag him. He's got a decent chin, but is getting on with age, despite being the same age. But kind of both these guys are sort of chinny. Dariush less so, but he has more power. You know, if you do MMA maths, the guy with more power, the guy who can defend takedowns, you know, we saw it against Gamrot. Dariush can definitely defend takedowns. The guy's got great top control. You'd back Dariush, but when you look up on the feet, Moicano's a bit slicker. He's a bit quicker. He's got good jabs, straights, things like that. He keeps it long. Tough fight to call because Dariush can definitely time a fucking overhand, but can Moicano maintain that distance the whole fight and not get caught by these shots? I think so. I think he's improving. I think he's slightly improving, and I think Dariush is slightly getting over the hill. I love him. I do love him. I'm going to put money on Moicano, but my heart is on Dariush. Jack the Joker Hermansson versus Gregory Robocop Rodrigues. Again, how could you not back the Boldman? It's an interesting fight, this one, to be honest with you. I mean, Joker has a good jab. He's a good southpaw. Good orthodox fighter, but creepy guy. Creepy motherfucker. Is he orthodox? I think he's a guy that he creeps me out so much that I always think he's a southpaw, but he actually is an orthodox fighter. So yeah, he's got a good jab, good leg kick. You know, he will throw volume, very game. But we've seen him lose against guys that one can grapple with him, hit very hard, crush that space very well. All the things that Gregory Rodrigues does, that is the shit that fucks up the Joker. But the intangibles are here that Robocop, the big Boldman, is coming off is not his first KO loss, but definitely his biggest step up and pushback with his fight against Cannonier. I struggle to imagine the Joker winning this. However, if Robocop comes in and looks tentative, scared, unsure of what he wants to do, and tries to play it a little bit safer, manages gassing a little bit better, I can see Jack Hermansson out-voluming him. I do think that once he gets tagged a little bit, Gregory is just going to throw hands and realise he's hurting him and carry on going through all of it. The Joker's a tough motherfucker, but I mean, Gregory Rodrigues does not mind being anywhere, and he doesn't mind being on top of you, doesn't mind striking with you. He should win this fight. At 1-2, I think you're getting good value. If he isn't hurt emotionally and with his brain there, he should be able to win that fucking fight. Bit of an X factor on this fight, but should be safe for money. I lost fucking big on Rodrigues versus Cannonier. Was literally about to win like $2,000. Last fight on a parlay, and he fucking does me like that. Unbelievable. Bastard. But I'm still probably going to put money on him again. Because I think he's a better guy here. I think he's bigger, stronger, faster. You know, supposed to win more minutes, I think, than Slava Claus versus fucking Terrance T-Rex McKinney. Stupid fight. Absolute nonsense. Oh, God. So, yeah, such a horrible fight to decide on. Terrance McKinney, athletic, tall, okay striker. Bit bad with the defense, but good with the offense. College wrestler, okay wrestler, not the best, but will go for it. It's pretty strong, and he's got pretty long arms. Despite him not having the reach advantage here, he seems longer, I think. I don't know if that... Yeah. Borshchev, I think world champion kickboxer, something like that. Very good kickboxer. Lovely body shots, lovely leg kicks, great timing, great head movement. But is quite a lot... has quite a lot of mileage on him, with the sense that he's been a kickboxer for a long time. It's the same as Jacobe. Very, very good, but because of the mileage, because of the kickboxing fights, all that sort of stuff, you know that their chin is somewhat deteriorated. And Terrance McKinney is the sort of guy that takes advantage of that sort of thing. But Terrance McKinney lacks a lot of this. Doesn't have many of these, to be honest with you. His brain is really, really hard work to bet on. I should win this fight. Probably won't. I'm about my boy Slava Claus. He's got 43% takedown defense, which is really bad, but he's been getting better as he's been in the UFC. I think he's a much better striker. Terrance McKinney could definitely land something and hurt him. But I'm going to pick Borshchev. How could you not pick Santa? If you want presents at the end of the year, you pick Santa. Viviane, Araujo versus Tracy Cortez. Kind of a cool, interesting fight here, I think. What I like about this is that Araujo's got good skills. She's a good grappler, very good grappler, probably one of the better grapplers in that division, just pure jiu-jitsu wise. Does well at sweeping, is rarely trapped on bottom. On the feet, she's doesn't throw enough, tends to pot shot you at range with boxing, usually. A few leg kicks here and there, but tends to pot shot you at range with boxing. Allows you to walk forward, circles, single shots, straight shots. They're good shots, they're good boxing, but she isn't willing to step in the fire as much as she used to. She's 38, it's fucking getting on it. Tracy Cortez is not fearful at all, and she's getting better every fight. What I really liked from her is that you could see in even the Rose fight that she's literally getting better round by round as well sometimes. Between the first and the second round, she really did much better at her entries. The first round, she was being a little bit stupid with it, trying to fucking just land the shit like that, and she was just getting caught. Whereas in the second round, she was stepping out a little bit to start off with, just staying a little bit further out, and then coming in with like a switch stance, straight left hook. She loves a straight left hook, or left hook straight, mix those both up. Those are probably her primary boxing combos. But they are very effective, and she's confident. She hits pretty decently. She will go forward. I do pick her in this, but I would not be surprised if at some point it goes to the ground. She's got decent takedown defense, 67% here, but I think that's a bit of a shit stat. I think she's actually a bit better than that suggests. She's been getting better. Rose is a very good grappler, and she was able to take her down, which is worrying, but Araujo's takedown accuracy is 43%. She doesn't throw it that much. I think Tracy Cortez has got enough distance management at this stage, and I think she's been improving fight by fight. I back the girl coming up. I back Tracy Cortez to get it done. Probably by decision. But wouldn't be surprised by KO. Niko Price versus Jacobe Smith. The hybrid versus Kobe. Very stupid fight. It's not stupid in the sense that, it's just any fight with Niko Price is stupid. It's just ridiculous. A man with that sort of look on his face and them scapulars. The scapulars are these fucking pointy section over here. I honestly don't know if I've ever seen a man with these bits taller than the center of his thing. To that point. The point where it's almost separate. It looks like he's attached. He's got a section of his body that's been attached badly to it, or they've attached a different body to a different Barbie doll, sort of shit like that. It doesn't look right, doesn't look normal. But long range guy, creepy guy, very creative. He's got up kick knockout, fucking heel to the face knockouts, not even up kicks, on his back. Creepy submissions, that sort of stuff. He's very, creative guy, very interesting guy to watch, but has been overwhelmed by grapplers, has been overwhelmed by decent strikers. He fights very long. He's got very long reach, but that can be to his detriment. He ends up throwing. He's not the most accurate, kind of slow with his punches, so people find it kind of easy to slip and rip. Jacobe Smith, primarily a wrestler, not so much a jiu-jitsu guy, primarily a wrestler with ground and pound, Very good ground and pound. Has a fucking nasty ass elbow when he ground and pounds. And he's a tenacious motherfucker. You'd look at him and the way he fights and you'd think, oh, he's going to gas. But doesn't. Weirdly twitchy and explosive throughout the whole fight, no matter how much he grapples and wrestles. What I mean by twitchy is that some guys, they move like that. Some guys move like, they fucking, just, Mano Cap is a fucking twitchy motherfucker. And Jacob Smith is also like that. Very good guy. You can understand the line. It's like 1 to 10, I think it is, on him winning, which is super understandable. He's a fucking dog of a wrestler. But yeah, I mean, if you put money on it, I think you're a bit crazy. Niko Price is a freak, and at 1 to 10, don't put your money there. This is silly, isn't it? The fucking Moose versus the Reaper. Sedriques Dumas versus Jackson McVey. Oy vey. Dumas used to be a bare knuckle boxer and then joined the UFC. Had some pretty shit fights. Quite a decisionator if you're looking at him. He does a lot of moving, throws a couple of straight shots, moves a bit more, throws a body kick, moves a bit more. Has struggled with the takedown defense in the past and can be submitted. But he's getting slightly better every fight. I think you can see that slightly betterness from him each fight. He's all right. He's taller. He's not even taller here. He's quite tall though. Quite tall. That's what he's got against him. The Moose is a very green man. Very slick submissions on the ground. And a decent tie clinch. Very confident. Decent power. Pretty decent power on the feet. Has not great hands, but has hands, will throw them. Does get caught quite clean because he literally has his hands by his waist, and doesn't really have the head movement to back it up. However, if this gets into a grappling situation, he will fuck up Sedriques Dumas. He will submit him. Coming again, both these guys coming on a week's notice. Who's going to get done? I back Jackson McVey. He's probably going to get the fucking submission here. Dumas is a good guy, and I'm sure he's been working on his wrestling. It's what I think fucked him up in the most recent fights. But tough fucking fight here. I mean, it's one of the fights that Dumas could fucking get a KO in because the Moose is so hittable. It's crazy, so hittable, but his ground game is very good. 50-50 fucking fight. Yeah, maybe good Dumas. Who the fuck knows, mate? Nonsense. See, it's crazy that this is so far down the card. This is such a good fight. The Hurricane Hyder Amil versus Jose Delgado. So, the Hurricane is a fucking dog. An absolute dog. 6.84 land per minute. He's a freak for that sort of stuff. He really just goes and goes. Doesn't really care that much about what he's getting hit by. His primary weapon, realistically, is his pressure. He will pressure you the whole fucking fight. And he beat Gomez recently. It wasn't his best showing for Gomez, but the pressure really was a bit too much for him. It's one of them ones where if you're circling, he will chase you with a hook. Not run after you, but he will leap and hook you as you're moving around, which I love to see. Does do leg kicks there as well. High guard. Just an overall decent-ish guy. And the intensity really will carry him through a lot of fights. Delgado, taller, has a reach, both switch dancers, but Delgado's a lot smoother on the feet, more of a straight shooter, has really decent feints. I really like his feints. Makes people bite on them very early because he's just a sharp guy and his feints are very believable. But yeah, the issue with Delgado is that he's overall a very good fighter. However, I have seen him slow down a lot in the second round. When he's had a full camp as well. This is at 1 week's notice. He ends up in the second round just feinting more than actually throwing, which I don't hate as a guy if you're trying to manage your gas tank a little bit better. But in this fight against the fucking Hurricane, I don't know if you're going to do well in that. I back the Hurricane. He's not the better guy on the feet, but he is the more tenacious guy. He will fucking hunt you down for the whole fight. And yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he KO'd Delgado. It'd be going to be a crazy line, but yeah. It's going to be a good fight. Delgado is definitely going to have the advantage first round. And then Hyder's probably going to come into it late. That's where I see it. Payton Talbott versus Jungle Boy Felipe Lima. Cool fight. Two very game guys. Young guys coming up. both very good as well. Talbot's game primarily pressures forward, draws out strikes, aims to counter. Felipe Lima mixes fucking everything in. He's a fucking everything fighter. Talbot's issue is that when he does that pressuring thing, it works really well against lower level competition, but once you get to a guy who sees that and knows what to do against it, which is tap you, move, take down, move. Like, mix in your whole game against him so he can't make reads on you and win rounds. Because once it's one of those things that once you start winning rounds against him, he's going to make worse decisions. He's going to make things easier for you because he's going to be a little bit more desperate for it. Barcelos fucked him up last fight because he was just giving him too much. Leg kick, high guard, move, takedown, high guard, leg kick, overhand, takedown. Just mixing it all up all the time. And Talbot showed his inexperience in that one. He's been the guy who's all the hammer, always winning these fights, and he didn't really know how to deal with that. Realistically, I mean, what you do with that, be the guy who goes first. Pop out a jab first. Don't let that guy get ahead of you to start off with. Keep more distance. Don't be giving him your hips the whole time, which is what he was doing in that fight. That's the issue with Talbot. With these really pressure forward guys, if you're not short, if you're a tall guy especially, and you're looking for pull counters and things like that, you're going to give up your hips. You're going to give up your hips. You're going to get taken down. Jungle Boy Felipe Lima, he's been here before with these short notice fights, and he's a fucking dog. He beat Neymar, pretty sure, on short notice, and yeah, very good guy. Has what I like about him is that when he backs up, but not all the way. He backs up and then to a safe distance and then stands his ground. Doesn't allow you to push him around the whole cage. He'll back up, do that, leg kick you, move again, stand there. He'll do that sort of. Does a lot what Barcelos Jr. does really well. And has a really good ground game. Will shoot takedowns, decent takedowns, explosive guy. Decent boxing, decent head movement, decent kicks. For me, I think he's just too much for Talbot here. He definitely could get knocked out. Talbot's a great, really sharp guy. But I think Jungle Boy offers too much. And I think with the short notice stuff, Jungle Boy is going to be way more comfortable. Felipe Lima is going to be way more comfortable with this short notice stuff. Whereas I think Talbot would have liked to have a full camp. I'm sure he's been training his wrestling. But to change his style and to jump in against this guy who's super game and going to give this massive amount of variety. It's going to be an interesting fight to see how Talbot plays out. I'd like to see him not do that stupid pressure thing too much. Again, it works really well when you're, when you're at a lower level. But like even Joshua Van, for example, he will pressure you, but nowhere near as hard as Talbot does. Talbot does it to an extreme and unnecessary degree. Unless you're the most clean guy ever or you're throwing strikes. Because you can't allow just the pressure and expect to defend everything. It just doesn't really work that way in high level MMA. So, yeah, I'd take a Jungle Boy. Tentative, but pretty sure Jungle Boy's going to get it done. I think he's a more comfortable guy in this sort of short notice, crazy, uncomfortable matchup. And he's shown he can weather a lot of shit. Yeah. Give me Felipe Lima, man. Best fight on the fucking card. Let's go. Jonathan Dins versus Alvin Hines. Oh, man, this is going to be shit. I mean, it's going to be fun, but kind of shit. It's going to be pretty bad. Jonathan Dins, guy who he hasn't really changed that much in his UFC career. He's a guy who's got pretty sharp boxing, decent leg kick, pretty decent leg kick, quite quick for a heavyweight as well, which I like. Does often give up the first round trying to make reads, but I don't always hate that, to be honest with you. Alvin Hines on the other side is a big jiu-jitsu specialist whose striking is getting better. Seems still quite hittable and doesn't always have his feet under him. Quite like if you throw a strike and he pulls back, he will often like do a little bit of a Bambi leg, sort of legs together sort of nonsense. So, but he is a huge guy in here, massive guy, and confident 7-0. If he gets to the ground, he will fuck up Jonathan Dins because Dins is literally a fish. If you get him to the ground, even Austin Lane got him to the ground and could do what he wanted, pass his guard whenever he wanted to, whatever sort of shit he wanted to do, he could do it to him. Alvin Hines has actual decent jiu-jitsu. His striking is clumpy and a little bit not great. It's getting better. His straight shots are getting slightly tighter and things like that. His speed isn't bad, but not great. Is okay defensively, but not good. Yeah, I mean, the thing with Dins is that what I like about him is that because he makes these reads Once he sees your takedown once or twice or a few times, just like in the first round or so, he sees and knows when he sees the shot coming quite quickly, so he's able to stuff the takedown very easily. If Hines starts shooting in the first round, he may get him down, he may submit him in the first round. However, if it goes a little bit later, Dins all day. Dins all day. If you're looking for a spot as well for a live betting, if Dins survives, he's definitely gonna he's gonna KO Hines. Pretty sure. I'd go. I mean, Hins is a tough motherfucker. He might actually be able to survive because he's just gonna, if he carries on dogging and he's a huge guy, he might be able to grab a hold of him and continue that. Tough fucking fight to call, really. Yeah, I think Dins, but Hines definitely got a submission chance. I don't think he's going to be able to hold Dins against the cage either. Dins has shown a pretty, his wherewithal within the clinch is okay. He knows that he needs to get out quickly. He can't just be held there. And he does make to look you pay if you get ahead of him in the round. If you do well, he will, and hold him for a little bit. If he's able to get up or get out, he will fucking throw like a motherfucker at you. And what I like about him is he keeps distance really well. So yeah, I think Jonathan Dins can win this fight. I think he should win this fight. Goozy, you need to get a little bit better, mate. Thank you very much for watching, guys. This has been the MMA Elevator with me, Dariush. Get some rest. Some big fights coming up. Betting video coming out later this week. I will actually do it this week. And yeah, excited to fucking watch this card.